The iPhone 12 Pro Max is the most attractive, advanced iPhone model ever built. Look at how far we've come ever since the iPhone 3G and the iPhone 4S and 3GS days. Look at these guys. Look at where we were. And look at where we are right now. The engineering, the design, and technology and craftsmanship that were all put into this thing are just incredible. This is a Spigen cover, by the way. It's called Spigen Liquid Air. I love it. It has the air cushion technology, but at the same time, it retains the design of your phone. The design is reminiscent of the iPhone 4S. You can see that. It's got cues from the iPhone 4S. Do you remember this? The good old days. It's a beautiful design, industrial, stainless steel finish. I love it. Of course, don't forget to put a Spigen cover on it. That looks pretty cool. And the cameras are very, very good. This is the gold color. This is the iPhone box. As most of you know, it doesn't come with a charger, so it only comes with a cable. And you got to buy the charger yourself. So that's the box. I think we've come a long way since the iPhone 3G and 3GS. Apple has done an incredible job over the years. But in this video, I want to go through the specs, performance, and my overall impressions of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So let's get to it. All right, first let's have a look at some of the specs for this phone. This has a stainless steel frame with a glossy finish, you can see here. It has a ceramic shield front with oleophobic coating, and it has a glass back with a frosted finish. It has IP68, and in terms of weight, it's a pretty heavy phone at 228 grams. As for the display, it's got a 6.7-inch Retina XDR OLED screen, and it has 1284 by 2778 pixel resolution, and that is 458 ppi. It has 800 nits. It's got a beautiful screen. It has HDR10, Dolby Vision support, wide color gamut, and of course True Tone. And one of the amazing things that I like about this phone is that when you use YouTube, you can notice that the quality goes all the way to 2160 as opposed to 1440 on my OnePlus 8 Pro, which I'm going to talk about in the next video as a comparison. That is beautiful. It's one of the best screens out there. Up next, we're going to talk about the chipset. It's got the Apple A14 Bionic chip, which is 5 nanometers. It is incredibly powerful. As for memory, it's got 6 GB of RAM, and you could choose the size. And size configurations come all the way up to 512 GB. So you got 128, 256, and 512 of internal storage. You've got a triple camera array, a 12 megapixel camera, and you've got wide angle, telephoto. You've got smart HDR3, night mode, dual LED flash. For video recording, you got 2160 at 60p. Slow motion is excellent as well. This video is 1080p at 240 FPS, and you can tell that it looks great. Look at all that water. I was pouring tea at the time, and it looks great. I think the camera is one of the best cameras I've tested on smartphones, and the slow motion camera in this scene looks great. No flickering at all. Perhaps the lighting was good in this scene, but I was very impressed because it didn't have any flickering, which was good. Maybe you'd have flickering in other scenes, but I haven't tested that so far. This is camera test 2, which is a 4K video at 30 FPS. The stabilization is really good. It's very effective. It's got wide dynamic range, and the color is very good. Just like in the pictures, it's almost lifelike, so the color is really good. Overall, the video quality of this phone is excellent. In my opinion, this phone, I think, has the best video quality you can get on a smartphone. And for connectivity, you've got, of course, 5G. The battery has 3687 milliampere hour battery. Comes with something called MagSafe, which is this. I like the concept. It's pretty cool. It's magnetic. It attaches to it like this, and then you can start charging. It's a neat feature. I like it. I can also charge my OnePlus with this, no problem. Now the phone has Face ID, which is very safe and really good. It works pretty well, but it does not have a fingerprint scanner. But the OnePlus does, so it has a built-in fingerprint scanner. You can unlock your phone. The Face ID for the OnePlus is not that secure, but the Face ID on the iPhone is much more secure, but it doesn't have a fingerprint scanner. All right, guys, now I want to talk about the design and form factor and what I like about this phone. The number one thing that I like about this phone is the quality. I like the stainless steel finish. The camera on this phone is one of the best cameras out there. It's a flagship phone. It's the best camera that you can get for an iPhone. One of the best features for this camera is image stabilization, because the entire thing moves, not just the lens, but the entire thing moves with it. So it stabilizes the shot better. It's got a LiDAR scanner. So if you don't know what that is, LiDAR, think about it as 3D mapping of the area, and it also helps with your images. But there are apps right now that enable you to take 3D scans of your surroundings, and I think that's pretty cool. Of course, LiDAR is very important for VR applications, so that is going to be really awesome. Now, there is a difference between the 12 Pro Max and the 12 Pro in terms of camera, but not in terms of performance. They got the same processor, but if you want the best of the best, the Pro Max is what you're looking for. The sensor on this phone is bigger inside because of the dimensions, of course, which means that you're supposed to get more light. This phone can absorb more light and take brighter, clearer pictures. Check out some of the pictures I've taken here. This phone has one of the best cameras out there. The video quality is the best. Picture quality, selfies are amazing. The main camera is also great at 12 megapixels, but I was disappointed, honestly, when I compared it to the OnePlus 8 Pro, because you get much sharper images with the OnePlus 8 Pro, and that was a little bit disappointing for me the first time I got this and I tried it. But you get really good pictures if you disregard the sharpness of the images. Dynamic range is excellent as well, but you get better dynamic range with video, in my opinion. So video quality overall is the best in a smartphone, in my opinion, but picture quality can do better than this. The image resolution can be higher. 12 megapixels, I think, is no longer enough, but you still get really good looking images. Selfies are excellent. One of the most disappointing features of this phone was the macro shots. The OnePlus 8 Pro had much better macro shots at 1 to 1.5 inches. You can see, for example, in this image. Now, other shots, for example, the zoom was pretty good, but zoom with video was not that good. However, zoom with pictures was pretty good. This one, for example, is at 3x. Wide angle on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is much, much wider. The 1x at the iPhone 12 Pro Max is actually the wide angle of the OnePlus 8 Pro. Night shots are excellent as well on the iPhone 12 Pro. And I thought they were a little brighter than the OnePlus 8 Pro, but both of them had noise and some artifacts. Keep in mind, though, that the results that you get with the iPhone 12 Pro are not going to be as good as the iPhone 12 Pro Max in low light. The selfie camera was the best, and in my opinion, the iPhone 12 Pro Max had more natural colors. They're lifelike. The OnePlus 8 Pro had more artificial colors, too saturated for me. Overall, the camera quality is great. You can get one of the best looking pictures out there. But I was disappointed with the macro shots and the resolution in some of the pictures. Apple's been talking about something called computational photography. So the chipset inside this phone is intelligent enough to know what it is looking at, and it tries to alter the resulting image according to that scene. Deep Fusion is something that Apple debuted last year on iPhones, and it analyzes images pixel by pixel, and it tries to create the best possible result post-capture. So most of you know that I'm using the OnePlus 8 Pro, and now this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. What do I like about this phone? Am I going to upgrade from this to this? First of all, let me tell you all the things I like about this phone. I like the design. I like the premium feel to it. It's beautiful. I don't like this notch, this big, ugly notch. I prefer the OnePlus tiny cutout display here. The tiny cutout camera, that is much better than this ugly notch right here. But still, this phone feels very premium. It's beautiful, and it's actually heavier than the OnePlus, just a bit. In terms of screen, I like the flat screen on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I don't like these curved screens. They're very annoying, especially when you're trying to use an app that has buttons here and it misinterprets that with a navigational gesture. On flat screens, it feels much more natural. It feels better. Now, in terms of screen quality, the OnePlus still beats, in my opinion, the iPhone 12 Pro Max because it's got a higher resolution. It's got the incredible 120 Hertz. So the 120 Hertz here is really, really awesome. Once you try a phone with 120 Hertz, there is no going back. Unfortunately, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has 60 Hertz, which is pretty disappointing for the top of the line model that Apple has. This phone should have had 120 Hertz, or, I mean, you can't really tell by looking at this YouTube video, but 60 Hertz is cannot be compared to 120 Hertz. Once you try this, there's no going back to this because of how smooth this thing is. So if you're infected with the 120 Hertz virus, no pun intended, you cannot go back to a 60 Hertz device. And that is one of the most disappointing, that is one of the most disappointing things that I found in this phone. 120 Hertz is a deal breaker for me. For some people, it's not a big deal, but for me it is, which is why I am not going to upgrade from the OnePlus 8 Pro to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But for other people, that's okay. The screen is beautiful. The form factor is amazing. The design is really good. The price is still very expensive. This phone costs much less than this. This is a very expensive phone. Depending where you are, the price could jump hundreds of dollars as well. But overall, I love the quality of this phone. I love the premium feel to it. The camera is incredible. It's pretty good. It's really good, actually. It may not be the best smartphone camera. The macro shots on the OnePlus 8 Pro are way better than the macro shots here. There's no comparison. But the image stabilization, the video, overall, video quality on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is much better than the OnePlus 8 Pro and other phones as well. That is one of the best things about this phone. That technology that Apple's using is really good. I like the fact that it has wireless charging. That wireless charger, the one I just showed you, is pretty good. One of the best things that I liked about this phone is the speaker or the sound quality. I felt that the sound was richer. The bass was higher than the OnePlus 8 Pro, even though this has Dolby Atmos in it. This is incredible. It just reminded me of the iPad Pro and the MacBook Pro. Apple really makes good speakers. This phone has a lot of great things about it. So if you love Apple, if you love the ecosystem, this is a beautiful phone. And if you can wait till next year, and maybe you would want a 120 Hertz screen, that'll be even better. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a like if you like it, and please subscribe to my channel if you really like it. Take care.